Today on the CTV News at 5, regional police call out the bomb squad warning a Southside neighborhood. Plus, the amazing story behind the return of a 3-year-old BC boy more than 12 hours after the Amber Alert was issued in that province. And how a 15-year-old girl is inspiring young people around the world to make a difference in the lives of victims of sexual abuse.
CTV News with Daryl Rummold.
Good afternoon. Regional police remain at a Southside home where they say military ordnances were found. The City Police Bomb Disposal Unit arrived on the scene a short time ago to deal with the devices, which were found at a home along the 1000 block of 29th Street South. Police did not evacuate the area, but have gone door-to-door warning residents. Officers tell CTV more than one ordinance may be involved. They aren't saying, however, how it was brought to their attention. Police say they are consulting with military experts to help properly dispose of the threat.
We haven't evacuated the neighborhood, certainly in any type of situation, especially with military ordnance, because it's not familiar to us. There's always a safety concern, and that's first and foremost with the members on scene. We've restricted access, immediate access to the area and to the roads. Once Department of National Defense members get on scene and work in conjunction with our EDU members, it'll be determined at that time whether or not we're in a safe distance.
Police expect to be on the scene for several more hours. A young boy has been flown to Calgary's Children's Hospital by stars after being struck by a vehicle early this afternoon on the city's west side. It happened near Aberdeen Crescent and Aberdeen Road. The boy's father didn't wait for EMS to arrive and rushed the 10-year-old boy to Chinook Regional Hospital, where he was then airlifted to Calgary. Police say the driver did remain at the scene and the investigation is ongoing. There is no word on the child's condition. A 3-year-old BC boy is home safe and sound tonight, and it's quite a story. It happened this morning in Whitefish, Montana, after the suspect, Robert Barnett, asked a local for money. The man offered to buy Barnett breakfast, but in the meantime went home where he turned on the TV to watch the local news. That's when he discovered just who he had been talking to and called police. Officers quickly moved in to arrest 39-year-old Robert Barnett, who at last word was still in U.S. police custody. Police tell us 3-year-old Alvin Barnett is in good condition, that he was tired and hungry but otherwise okay. The two were found inside a vehicle at the time, and the arrest happened without incident.
So they were going to meet this morning for breakfast. The gentleman went home to his house and while watching news this morning realized that Robert Barnett was the subject of the Amber Alert out of Canada and also out of Montana. Alvin was safe and he is in very good condition. He is a happy little boy.
The resolution came more than 12 hours after the Amber Alert was issued in BC. The boy was taken from a hotel in Fernie during a supervised visit. Questions still remain, though, about how the two got across the border and why the Amber Alert wasn't issued in Montana until several hours later. A 15-year-old girl from Coaldale is raising awareness and money to help young victims of sexual abuse. Allison Lee has already raised thousands of dollars to support the victims, and as Terry Vogt discovered, her efforts are also inspiring other young people to help children around the world.
I want to be the voice for the voiceless, is what I'm calling it.
15-year-old Allison Lee is shedding light on the issue of childhood sexual abuse.
Because there's so many victims out there who can't tell anybody or they're too afraid. And I just want to make it so they can tell somebody and they can get help.
She's selling Christmas lights as a fundraiser. They'll be strung on a tree near Coaldale Town Hall and lit in the Festival of Lights parade to bring awareness to the 8 million child sex abuse victims in Canada.
She wants the tree to shine bright so victims know that they're not alone and that people out there do care.
In Canada, 1 in 6 boys and 1 in 3 girls experience sex abuse. But there are no facilities specialized to treat the victims. Allison is hoping to change that by raising money to help create a sex abuse healing and support center for children.
I've watched so many victims go through horrible things, bulimic, anorexia, cutting, and it's so horrible because of what happened to them. And so I want to make sure that it can stop happening to every child out there.
Allison's inspirational story has earned her VIP tickets to We Day, an event aimed at motivating youth to make positive changes in the world. The event and Allison's story has also inspired her teacher and classmates to help children in other countries as well.
As a grade 10 student, she's doing wonderful stuff around the school here, and it is infectious.
Well, it doesn't matter how little or young you are, like everybody can make a difference.
The school is collecting pennies to provide clean drinking water to people in other countries. Allison says empowering yourself can empower others, and she hopes the ripple effect will continue.
You can be courageous and help other people and just pay it forward.
Terry Vogt, CTV News, Coaldale.
Allison will be selling the lights at the Hurricanes game tonight and on Sunday. She's also applied for a grant to fund local child sex abuse prevention programs. For more information on how to donate to the Little Warriors Support Center or the Adopt a Village Clean Water Program, check out our Facebook page. And now the star of our show, Miss Dory Rossiter. And Dory, we can't hold on to those warm temperatures for very long, can we?
I'm really not hearing anything you're saying, Daryl. I think my earpiece isn't working right. I'm assuming you're talking about the weather is going to be nice for the next few days. And yes, you're absolutely right about that. We are going to have sunshine and pretty good temperatures. Average is 3 degrees for this time of year, and we're certainly going to be above that, especially tomorrow. Wait till you see the 5-day forecast. Oh, I think I'm hearing again now. I'll talk to you later, Daryl.
My mom always said selective hearing was my problem, too. The plant at the center of the extensive beef recall has resumed shipping products. The XL Foods plant in Brooks began making shipments today for the first time since an E. coli outbreak forced it to close in September. The beef has been repackaged under the banner JBS, which took over management of the facility last month. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says they'll ask for permission to resume exporting beef from the plant to the U.S. On time and under budget. That's how city and provincial officials are describing the reopened Bridge Drive project. Bridge Drive was reopened to traffic at the end of September, but the official ceremony was held this morning. The $20.8 million project took just over a year to complete. It includes a utility corridor with upgraded water and sewer lines to accommodate growth in West Lethbridge. It also has a new walking path and improved drainage to prevent erosion and flooding. City staff say the work came in $3.2 million under budget, and that money can be used for other projects around the city.
The main factors for being under budget were assigning dedicated project management resources to the project and the formal partnering and team building we did to work together with the contractors and consultants on the project.
An estimated 7,500 vehicles use Bridge Drive daily. The road to recovery is still a very long one for a 16-year-old girl whose arm was crushed by a school bus. Tonight, her friends and co-workers are holding a fundraiser to help offset the family's medical expenses. Addie Vandevelde was injured on November 5th when she slipped, fell, and became pinned underneath a school bus that she was trying to catch. Addie has undergone numerous surgeries since that day, and doctors say they're hopeful she'll be able to keep her arm. The silent auction and fundraiser goes tonight at Chinook High School, with all the proceeds going towards the family. Lethbridge College has a new president and CEO. The Board of Governors announced today that Dr. Paula Burns will assume the college's top job in February. She becomes the 8th president in college history. Burns comes to the college from NAIT, where she served as provost and vice president of academics. She replaces Dr. Tracy Edwards, who announced her resignation in April. Burns is expected to attend the Board of Governors meeting on November 26th. And here's a warning for you. If you plan to use plastic for all those Christmas purchases like I do, a chip on your credit or debit card may put you at risk of fraud. CTV's Karen Rosnick reports.
It's a way to pay without entering a PIN or signing a receipt. Credit cards embedded with a chip that allow a purchase to be completed just by tapping on a terminal. Convenient for consumers and, according to some, electronic pickpocketers as well. Ken Miller's card doesn't have the chip now, but once it expires, his new one will. Miller says he's concerned, considering his wife and daughter were both victims of identity theft.
It's not secure, and I am not happy that they're giving me something on that card that I don't want.
The cards work with radio frequencies, and they're becoming more common. But security expert Michael Legary says those frequencies make it easier for hackers to access your information remotely.
With only an hour or two of effort, the average person can have an application that will read full credit card info, and they can use it wherever they want.
And you don't need expensive equipment to do it either. Take a look at this. A simple app downloaded to Legary's smartphone is able to read the chip right through this shopper's wallet.
Name, your card number, and all the information to do a transaction. So it has the CVV and everything somebody could use to do a purchase.
Another shopper didn't even know her card had the chip. Again, in a matter of seconds, her credit card information now on Legary's smartphone.
I didn't expect it to be
obviously not
secure like that, for sure. Scary.
Still, Visa, MasterCard, and American Express say the chip is designed so a hacker can only use the information for a single transaction, which is capped at low dollar amounts. But Legary says there are ways around that.
You can use 2 or 3 cell phones to actually steal the transaction off of one phone and replay it onto a point-of-sale terminal. So even though there are security measures in place, attackers have figured out ways to bypass them.
But you can protect your cards. Retailers such as UN Luggage sell wallets and sleeves that make the chips unreadable.
The thought of someone being able to access information remotely is just freaky to a lot of people.
People like Ken Miller, who say banks should offer customers the choice about whether they want the technology or not.
I don't want to go through what I went through with identity theft. I don't want to go through losing a card or somebody taking my information. It's not secure.
The good news is Visa, MasterCard, and American Express all have zero liability policies which protect customers from unauthorized purchases. Everyone loves to laugh, Lord knows I do, but have you ever imagined laughing for 30 hours straight? Drama Nuts Productions is holding an improv-a-thon. It's a 30-hour non-stop show of improvised comedy. The show is a fundraiser for the Old Man Watershed Council. The show goes tonight at the Moose Lodge, and tickets are $10 per person.
We have 19 different performers that are coming in, and so we're going to be subbing out so everybody has a fresh burst of energy when they first get on the stage every so often. So about every hour or so we're switching who's doing what, who's doing performing, who's doing ticket taking, and who's downstairs having a nap in order to come back on.
And they'll also be handing out a prize for the longest laughing audience member. Now as we go to break, let's take a look at today's closing numbers.